Hello, hello, my beautiful, beloved, sacred feminines. Welcome to another episode of Women's Sexual Empowerment. I'm so grateful for your presence. Thank you for being here. Whew, it's a funny little thing I want to share with you today. I had a really interesting experience yesterday that I'm excited to share about. I am in Peru right now, and first of all, I do apologize for the lighting of this. This is, I'm in a hotel room in Peru, and this is the best I can do right now, so I don't travel with a camera or a microphone and just depend on my handy dandy little laptop here, and sometimes the quality isn't always the best, but that's kind of what it is, living, life on the road and abroad so much, so not really complaining, but just saying. So in Peru, and was looking for a massage, best massages in the area, because there's a lot of massage around here, and actually got a little hoodwinked. People are out on the street, women are out on the street, like, come in for a massage, it's 40 sols, which is a great deal, or maybe it's even 40 American dollars. It must have been that. No, actually it was 40 sols, which would have been like $10. So I was just like, yeah, let's do a massage. That's awesome, right? And in Thailand, they actually are that inexpensive too. So it made sense. It wasn't surprising. And then they lead you into the massage parlors some ways down the street and get in there and give you a different menu and tell you, after I got undressed and everything was laying on the table. And then she hands me the menu of what's available. And it was not 40 sols. So I was like, what the hell is this? Not cool. I'm leaving. So anyways, so then after that experience, just like, okay, so let's look up what are the best massages in the area and let's find this. And discovered one that was a real kind of healing, spiritual type therapeutic massage, just from a gentleman. It just sounded really quite lovely, and with some energy work and working with chakras and aura cleansing and clearing and such like that. So I'm like, this is totally speaking to me. So and there was also tantric massage and sensual massage. So I'm like, well, that's really interesting. So I went and had a massage with this person, and it was quite nice. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything, and I had been contemplating the tantric massage, given that if you've been following along on my videos or on my website, you know that I have been an escort for a number of years in my life, and in the adult entertainment industry, and was a dancer, and just really into sacred sexuality and supporting us in our process, hence this channel and this this discussion here. So and I offered tantric ritual for men. I serve men clients, and I have a website or another YouTube channel that's devoted just to supporting men and connecting with their feminine energies and supporting them around sacred sexuality. So really important part of my journey in supporting us all to have these beautiful, sexy, sensual, passionate relationships and connections that we're truly longing for. So, and it's different supporting men versus women with how to move through these energies and how to step into empowerment around sexuality and sexual expression. So women have dealt with so much more violence and trauma and abuse. Not that men haven't, they absolutely have, but it's just kind of, it's a different animal. So, anyway, back to my massage. I was contemplating, since this is something I offer, I was really curious, like, how does somebody else offer this, and what might that entail from this person? So, and it was very interesting and enticing to be on the other end of it, not the giver, but the receiver. And so after I had this massage with this person, it was like, well, that was nice, but I didn't feel like this super chemistry or just like, wow, I need to take this further. So on I went with my travels and went to the ayahuasca retreat that I spoke of in the last video. And I met a woman there who was talking about this person that she connected with in Cusco and got this tantric massage. I was like, oh my gosh, I was going to do that. And she said it was amazing, it was great, and she just was so thrilled with her experience. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to check that out. So went forward with setting up the appointment. And when, he sends some information ahead of time, and one of the things he really talks about is how important boundaries are, and helping you feel safe, and nothing more is expected of you than you're ready for or interested in, or but still not a lot of details. I didn't know exactly what this entailed, but learning from this woman, there's quite a lot that's on the menu, right? That's there if you want it. So was really excited to go and have an experience with the sacred masculine in an environment where I would be held, and it wasn't about me giving, it was just about me receiving in a place of safety with somebody who knew what they were doing and was used to connecting with had a lot of experience connecting with the female body and offering pleasure to the feminine. So I was really excited to just be a goddess and receive that beautiful sacred masculine energy in a place of safety. So was a little nervous too going in. Now I know how my clients feel coming to me. It's just, there's a little bit of nervousness. So but went for this session, and he had me sit down and on this mat on the floor, and there was candles and lovely music, and it was a very, very lovely environment, and that was nice. And he's a fine gentleman, and I felt safe and comfortable with him. But kind of immediately moved right into, he asked me, like, are you familiar with tantra? I'm like, yes, I am. And didn't really say too much more. There was not a discussion of what are your boundaries, what are you interested in this session, what are you comfortable with, is there anything you'd especially like to experience or wouldn't like to experience? None of that. It just kind of started happening, and it was just like, where's all those boundaries that you talk about? He sends information, like I mentioned before, about boundaries and comfort and all that kind of safety, and none of the discussion was had. And this is something that I do with my clients. It's very important in sexual connections, whether they be professional or personal. We need to know what we're getting into, and we need to be able to share and express what we feel safe with, and definite no's and definite yeses, and things you really want to connect around. And that's such an important piece of our sexuality and our sexual connections with each other that is really been overlooked and isn't the norm. We just kind of fumble away along and are not confident in what we want, and not confident expressing what we want. So for me to go and see a professional person, I was really ready to have that conversation, to really feel safe in this environment, so I could really let go and just receive, right? So much of what the feminine is blocked around is the ability to receive pleasure and to receive the sacred masculine, because we don't feel safe from, there's inherited inherited trauma, intergenerational trauma, inherited energies from our ancestors, from the collective, from our own personal experience of sexuality, and maybe abuse, maybe some sort of trauma around our sexuality that has us really shut down, and we've just embodied so much of the sin, shame, blame, punishment mentality around sexuality in this religious-based system that shuns the female body, shuns the feminine, shuns our sexuality. We've deeply embodied that, and for us to really open up and receive the masculine in a way that's really safe, it's a journey. It's a journey, and so much of this is unconscious. We don't even know why we're so shut down. A lot of us experience numbness. We experience pain during sexual, intercourse, or just even with our own self-pleasuring. I speak from personal experience, really opening up my body and releasing all of that embodied fear and tension and shame and so much, right? So to come into this experience, that's what I was paying for. Actually, that was the whole freaking point of this, is to have a different experience and to just be able to release. And he did not provide that container for me, and it was really quite disappointing in that sense. Not to say that, the touch and the such was not lovely, but I didn't feel like I felt like I needed to be in control. I feel like I needed to set the stage, and I needed to be the one setting the boundaries, which was exactly what I didn't want to do, right? I'm used to doing that in my own personal and professional life. In my professional life, that's part of what we do in the beginning of a session. What are your yeses? What are your nos? What are your boundaries? What are you not comfortable with? What might you like to explore that you haven't explored before? You set that all up with a client or with a personal person, anyone you're connecting with, right? And that helps us to open up to receive and to allow ourselves to feel pleasure and allow ourselves to explore, knowing that we're safe. We don't have to worry about this person doing this because we've already said that's not on the menu, right? The menu, that's what we call it in the professional world. What's your menu? What do you offer? So when we know these things are on or off the menu, it allows us to relax into that and know that, so long as we're with a person we trust to adhere to those boundaries, right? Then we can relax. Until we can relax, we're not allowed to really, we can't allow ourselves to really feel that pleasure, to really allow the sacred masculine in. We really desire that deeply, but we are so shut down in general. Of course, I'm not saying everybody, right? We're all in a different experience. We're all having a very different journey, and we've all had different life experiences. And we've all had different partners that either supported us to feel safe or did not. So a lot of us are in the not category, right? So, and then just our own personal, being in our power, standing up and feeling confident and worthy enough, loving ourselves enough to say what it is we want and don't want, what we're comfortable with and not comfortable with. It's about self-love, and that's been my journey as well. I didn't have that love and worthiness for myself, so I let people just kind of do whatever because I was afraid to say no, right? I was just I just wanted the attention. I just wanted love. It was like any attention was better than no attention, right? And this was how I received attention, was just sexual encounters, right? So it's been a long journey of loving myself and knowing actually this is not what I want to be doing, and this is what I want to be doing. So and feeling confident enough to just say that and not worrying about how the other person's going to receive it, or caretaking them and trying to stroke the masculine ego. It's not about that anymore. It's just being in my power. So this experience was really a disappointment in that sense. I mean, I was still practicing with allowing myself to receive, and then just saying what was or wasn't, comfortable. Because I definitely did some things that I would have been in my no list, right? And nothing aggressive or anything like that. It wasn't, but it just would have helped me to feel safer. But it was just a disappointment. So I'm bringing this up because it's just so important for us, again, to have those boundaries, to be able to communicate them and feel safe with ourselves. And I was kind of shocked that this professional wasn't doing that for me. And then there was also the feeling like it needed to turn into an orgasmic experience, although he says in his information that this is not necessary. Don't be attached to the outcome, which is what I tell clients as well, right? Because it's not always going to end in an orgasm. So, but he definitely, I could tell that was kind of an agenda. So when I didn't get there, I think in a quick enough time, he just kind of gave up on that and it just turned into a regular massage. So it was just a strange experience. So again, I guess I'm bringing this in because of the boundary piece. It's so freaking important, and that attachment to outcome, which I really got to let go into and not be attached to that, because in my own, and to not feel like I needed to do anything. That was so relaxing in this situation as well. And I caught myself actually starting to take control, starting to be the one that directing and leading this session, and trying to control the energy of it, actually, trying to bring in more passion and get it to this thing. But then I was just no, I just really want to receive here and not be the orchestrator of that. I do too much of that in my professional life. So so just allowing that, but then catching my own self, I wasn't too worried about having an orgasm, but I mean, I certainly would have appreciated that, it would have been fun, but I could tell that it just wasn't going to go there as well, and just feeling fine with that, because again, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, right, to have this orgasm or to get our partner to orgasm. So it was really nice to let go of that. So these are some kinds of things that we can play with, and it's really awesome to find somebody, or find ourselves, just self-pleasuring, where we're not attached to outcome, and we don't have to worry about having an orgasm, and we can let that go, because orgasms are lovely and fun, but there's so much more of our pleasure and experience and sensual and sexual energy we can explore and play with, without feeling like it has to go there, or putting so much tension into our experience that like, I got to get to that place, right? Really attached to that outcome. So it was nice to play with that. So I appreciated that too. So on one level, I was kind of glad it didn't go there, because I just got to play with that and feel confident and comfortable in that. And just like, I didn't force my body to perform in a certain way to bring comfort to the situation, so that was really nice. So something for you to play with as well, either with yourself or with the partner, and set those intentions ahead of time to like let go of that attachment to outcome, let go of orgasm. There's so much more pleasure available to us, and a lot of relaxation and ease that can come when we let go of that, and when we don't have that outcome for our partner, and we don't feel like we have to get them there, right? So, but again, this can just be with yourself. So play with that with yourself. I pray you have a partner that you can communicate with, and have these kinds of conversations with. Maybe share this video with them and see what sparks, what comes up. That's a great tool to start to open these conversations. Bring in certain books that are just like, hey, I just read this in a book. What do you think about that? So it's a really nice, these are great tools to open up conversations, right? So you can bring this video and go, hey, check this out. What do you think about some of these things? Would you like to try that, right? So awesome way to start exploring and opening and helping ourselves feel safe and have those boundaries and relax into it, and relax into allowing so much more pleasure. So I was able to really allow into that. So I'm grateful for the experience, but I was just, again, something else I wanted to say is like, this was called tantric. I don't know why it was called tantric. I didn't experience any tantra, and for me, tantra is really about the balancing of the feminine and the masculine energies within, and then we have them without, right? Then we can experience them without. A lot of people, because in the tantric tradition, I've practiced authentic tantra since about 2010 is when I started learning from a teacher, a female teacher, mind you. This wasn't a male teacher, because I learned some tantra from male teachers prior. Hold on 1 second. There's somebody at the door, so just bear with me a moment. Housekeeping. So I'm going to be moving rooms here shortly, so because there was a little snafu in the reservation. So, but anyways, that is taken care of. My friend just took care of it, so we're good. Returning to what is Tantra. Again, I was learning from a masculine teacher prior. And it was very around sexuality, and this teacher wanted to have sex with all of his students, and I had that experience, and not the healthiest. It was but important piece of my journey, right? Very important piece to learn what is going on out there. And okay, now we have a phone call, so I might have to pause this and return to it. Let us see what happens here, or maybe just stop this and complete it later. I was worried that might happen, but anyways, thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to continue on. Luckily, my friend is helping to take care of this. So, it was an important piece of my journey to understand what is going on out there around the neo-tantra community, which is very much about a longer orgasm and better sex and such. But authentic tantra is nothing about that. The reason that it got so confused is because in a tantric tradition, you don't eliminate anything from the spiritual path. Everything is brought onto the path, and that includes our sexuality. But it's not until much further along do you actually practice with a partner, a life partner. It's after you've gotten into this harmony and union and balance and done a lot of your own healing journey and cleared out so much of the weird crap around sexuality that you actually engage with a partner. And it's to open up sexual energy. It's to build that energy, to run that energy, to move, because it is very sacred and it connects us with the divine. The potential is there. That's not what most of us are experiencing, right? But sex is brought onto the path because it's a very important part of human life. So But the West, I think people just kind of caught on to that. Oh, sex is okay, because it's so not, right? In Christianity, it's not part of the spiritual path, right? Or the religion. I wouldn't call that spiritual path, but it's so shunned and shamed. So I think when people, Westerners, discovered this tradition that actually supports sexuality and doesn't shun and shame it, and it's part of the tradition, right? Bring it all on the path. I think people really glommed onto that and just ran with it. Oh, it's all about sex. It's not all about sex. So when I'm talking about authentic tantra, that's what, yes, it includes sexuality, because it includes everything. It includes watering your plants in the garden. It includes doing the dishes. It includes every freaking aspect of life is a way into source, into the divine, into connecting with the truth and our divinity within. Everything is that. There is no separation. There is no, this is sacred, this isn't. So sexuality is, of course, sacred. Doing the dishes is sacred. Taking a shit is sacred, right? We relate to everything as sacred and part of this beautiful human experience. And our senses and being here on this planet, being in a body is very important. We don't shun and shame the body. We're not trying to transcend the body. Other traditions do that. The body is dirty. It's something to get out of. It's something to escape. It's something to ascend out of. So that is not Tantra. And it's really connecting with all of our senses, utilizing all aspects on the path. So there's a lot out there that's called tantric. And it's like, well, what does that mean? I was really curious. That's the other reason I wanted to go, because I offer tantric ritual based on what my understanding of tantra is and my experience. And so I wanted to see what this person was offering. What does that mean to them? So I was expecting more around that, but it was just sensuality and massage. So I what's tantric about this? Are you guiding me into breath work? Are you helping me to open up to a deeper connection of myself? Are you helping me to, the breathing is a really big piece for me around coming together. Are we aligning our energies together? Is there energy work happening? Is there any discussion around intention and focus? What's the tantric element, there wasn't any, so I thought that was really interesting too. So again, being cautious out there about what is being labeled as tantra and what does that mean to a practitioner? What does that mean to a teacher? So and again, this is personal. Tantra really encompasses a whole lot, but I just thought that was interesting too. There was no discussion of anything around spirituality, around what tantra is, and so just I thought that was very, very curious. So be careful out there when you're experiencing or exploring tantra, if that speaks to you, and is it just sexuality? Is it just sex, or is there any actual spirituality going on? Is there a higher philosophy? Is there a purpose to the connection? What is they say the bhav, what's the feeling of it? What's the essence of it? What is the intention behind it, the motivation, the inspiration, what's going on? What is the set and setting? Is it, and the mindset, because there's so much. You don't just engage in sensual massage and call it tantra. I mean, of course, people do. That's what's going on here. But tantra is way more than that. So I'm just bringing that in and helping us to recognize that and understand that and explore that for ourselves. And you're welcome to connect with my website. There's more about, I think there's more on there. I know there is on my working with my male clients. So, and you can check out my YouTube channel there, which we get into a lot more around authentic tantra, what it is and isn't. So, but I don't feel like I'm a tantra teacher necessarily, but I've been on my own path for a long time, and just what I've embodied, what I've learned, I'm definitely a tantric practitioner, so I'm sharing from that experience and what it is, and it's so much about energy, right? And really connecting with our own energy. So there was none of that in this session, which was kind of surprising to me. So what are my other takeaways here that I wanted to share with you? just really just wanted to bring those in. There's I don't have conclusions for this one, just again some wisdom that came through, some insights and awarenesses I guess I wanted to share with you and bring in. So because if you're experienced, or if you're interested in exploring more around spirituality as it relates to sexuality, just be discerning and discriminating, and read reviews and try to understand what this person's actual philosophy is, if it's just about having a bigger orgasm. And there's nothing wrong with that, but again, authentic tantra, that is not what it's about. So I'm not trying to say I'm an expert, but just there's a lot of information out there, that we're in the age of information. So do your research, be conscious and cautious of some male tantric practitioners and what they're touting, and just do your research, and know what you're looking for, also. So it's not to poo-poo, like what this person offered was lovely, I just wouldn't call it tantra, so something to be aware of. Or if you engage with that kind of stuff or connect with a practitioner as that, just maybe don't have high expectations. I don't know, but get clear on what they're offering and what you're looking for, and doesn't match up. Because it was a lovely session, and I know the reviews are great. People really appreciate it, but I just wouldn't, again, call it tantra. So, but to each his own, no judgment, no criticism in that sense. Just trying to bring more awareness around these topics. And so thank you so much for being here. I think I'm going to stop at that. And I think it was just bringing in some things to contemplate, and for you to support you on your journey, and to bring awareness around again. So thank you all so much. Check out my website, and when you're ready to, there's a lot of resources on there, and there's also, I offer sessions to support women if you're interested in that. Guidance sessions, we can talk about this more, we can dive into this and what's up for you, and how to support you around your sexuality, or just empowerment, energy healing sessions, sound healing, so much to really help us to clear some of these unhealthy belief systems, stuck, stagnant, blocked energy that we're carrying around sexuality and around so much, right? We've inherited a lot of strange stuff from our society and our families, right? So helping us to get into our unconscious, bring those things up and clear them out and move through them, and step into a new way that really speaks to us and supports us on our path. So if you need any support around that, certainly check that out. I also have a lot of book recommendations on my website to support you on your journey, so that's a great place to start too. And of course, explore the rest of my YouTube channel for so much more to support you on your path into, the sacred feminine, really embodying your own goddess within, and healing that wounded energy, the wounded feminine that we've been rocking out, right? So, and the masculine, it's all about that balance. So thank you so much for being here. Wishing you so much love on your journey, and thanks for bearing with me through a couple of those interruptions. Again, on the road and traveling, it's just kind of, you just got to work with circumstance, right? So there it is. So thank you all. Bye.